I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
That he killed my cousin, Ho Wong?
It's our first day. We haven't had a lot of time to open up to each other.
Mystery Date, rated PG-13. Sneak preview August 11th in select theaters.
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're back to another video, and there's another paid request, this time from Wes. As for a film called Mystery Date from 1991. Now, for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, Mystery Date, I had not heard of this film. I didn't really know much about it. And as I'm watching the film, I'm like, okay, this is pretty decently entertaining flick. I wouldn't say I got a lot of laughs out of it. It's a comedy. But it went at such a good pace. I liked the lead performances by Ethan Hawke and Teri Polo. Teri Polo, she would be in the Meet the Parents films with Ben Stiller. And I like some of the people I saw. James Hahn and Victor Wong both made an appearance, which is interesting, because they were both in Big Trouble in Little China. Brian McNamara is one of our lead actors as well. He was in Arachnophobia, who was one of the scientists that tried to help Jeff Daniels out. He was also the asshole in Short Circuit that was with Ali Sheedy, and Johnny Five fucked up his car. Fisher Stevens is in the film. B.D. Wan from Jurassic Park, he's in the film. And the story of the movie is Ethan Hawke, he's in love with his neighbor, Teri Polo, but he's too scared to say anything. His big brother, Brian McNamara, has arrived and sets up a date and goes, listen, you go to this place, here, use this, write my name on it. You'll be fine. Yeah, you can't afford it. You want the champagne? Use this card. The brother leaves. The limo gets fucked up for a variety of reasons. And so, ultimately, Ethan Hawke has to take his brother's car. Goes on a date with his girl, as one of those films where they go on a date and anything that can go wrong does go wrong. Kind of similar to this other film I saw the night before with Keanu Reeves. In a way, License to Drive, in a way, was that. I think in certain places in the world, maybe not. For some reason, I thought I heard at some places it was called License to Drive 2, but I don't think that's the case. That might have been someone just fucking around, joking or something. I don't know for sure. But it's one of those things where a series of crazier and crazier events happen, and at times it gets rather either dark or violent, which is not what I expected with this movie. I'll say this, Ethan Hawke and Teri Polo, they worked well together. I thought they had some good chemistry. Ethan Hawke at times seemed like he was trying to be a bit Tom Cruise from Risky Business or something. Not character-wise, but a bit of his acting. Once in a while, his voice, I'm like, is that Tom Cruise? But I like Ethan Hawke as an actor. I liked him in Explorers. Just the movie dovetailed downward when it got to the third act, but for the first two-thirds, I was really liking Explorers. He's been in other stuff, too. Yeah, I liked Ethan Hawke. Teri Polo, she seems rather sweet. Fisher Stevens, who was in the Short Circuit films, he's been in others, like My Science Project. He's here as a florist. He delivers flowers. The brother character, McNamara, is a dick and doesn't give him a tip. So he's hell-bent on getting a tip. I don't know why he blames Ethan Hawke, because he saw who was treating him like shit. Go after the other guy, not Ethan Hawke's character, but he's on this mission to get a tip. Other stuff, Ethan Hawke finds dead bodies in the trunk. The police are asking questions about him. At one point they go to a club and Gwar is playing. If you don't know what Gwar is, if you played the Beavis and Butthead video game or seen some of their stuff, and Gwar is a heavy metal, death metal band that wears the big crazy outfit. I don't know. Just type in Gwar, Gwar. I know the lead singer has passed away, but never thought I'd have fucking Gwar in this kind of movie. It's from the director they're going to do Ed and His Dead Mother with Steve Buscemi, so, and I think helped produce Repo Man with Emilio Estevez, the director that's produced that. So, okay, the weirdness kind of makes more sense now. But that's kind of what was entertaining, is that it went in such a speedy pace. And enough, like, weird things happen. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I might not be laughing, but it's interesting. And it has a good soundtrack. In Excess, you got Suicide Blonde, Disappear, On My Way, Seal, you got his song Crazy, Sonic Youth, you got his song, their song Tunic, Song for Karen. It's a really solid soundtrack. And that helps with the picture quite a bit. And then you have this gangster, BD1, is Mr. Lou, who wants his vase, and you realize this has something to do with Ethan Hawke's brother, who's not who he is. And then the girl gets kidnapped, and early on, this detective, when I opened up the trunk, the dead body had a gun and accidentally shoots the detective, and then that's where there's two bodies in the trunk. That's what I mean, there's like crazier things start to happen. Now, another guy I recognize, I forget the actor's name, he played the sheriff in Watchers from 1988, which Michael Irons had sadly ended that character in the movie. He plays, I forget, one of these, what do you call them, street cops. They got the blue, the blues on. Not the actual detectives, but the cops. I recognize, I'm like, wait, I know who that guy is. I'm like, cool, it's cool to see him in another movie. Yeah, I forget the actor's name. But yeah, he played the sheriff in Watchers. I'm like, that's cool. It's one of those films that it's tough to review a comedy, because at the end of the day, you look at a comedy and you know, did it make you laugh or not? There were a few moments that made me smirk. Fisher Stevens, when he would pop up and the way he behaved, it's almost as if they try to go for the better off dad. Give me my $2. Although that was funnier than this. Again, I think the two leads, their chemistry with each other, it's a short film. It doesn't feel... This is definitely not a film that feels sluggish. You know, it's the right running time. As I said, the soundtrack helps a lot. I'm wondering, where is this movie? It's cool when you watch a film and you sit there and you go, where's this going? Like, what's going to happen next? When I say it gets dark at times, there's a moment where Ethan Hawke goes upstairs, and it's kind of, to me, a creepy moment, where he goes upstairs and he sees a dead Asian guy laying there, and the phone's right here, and it's got this type of dial tone. Oh, just that shot, and there's like blood on the wall. That's creepier than some horror films I've seen, especially lately. I don't know if that hurt and not being as funny as it wanted to be, or... Well, you get to the third act, and it was there. It was Ethan Hawke sneaking in to rescue the girl, and then the brother gets there, and then it deals with a vase. Well, it's not really a vase. It deals with this cassette tape, and then the cops get there, but they're dirty cops, and then the actual cops get there, and... It's not a... I'm kind of surprised. This seems like a type of movie, like others, that it would work up to a big finale, whether it be a big action finale or a big spectacle finale or something. That's not really the case here. It's these characters talking, the cops arrive. It's a little bit of a shootout, but not a whole lot. Ends very quickly. And you go, oh, that's it? That's kind of reaction, like, oh, that's it? So, it's one of those things that... I mentioned The Night Before with Keanu Reeves. I would say I liked that film more than this. I would say that. That film, you could argue, had a bit more consistent tone. And because of Keanu Reeves being in that kind of movie, which was rare, especially nowadays, I mean, it was fun to see the way he acted in that film. And yeah, I would say I got more chuckles out of that movie. And that had an ending that felt appropriately big for the finale. I don't know how to describe it. I'm not saying every movie needs a big finale, but it's understandable why that's usually the case. With this build-up, now the big payoff. I just don't think that the payoff in this was that exceptional. I think maybe that wasn't the point of it. But Mystery Date, like I said, if you watch the trailer, if you like movies, most people don't even know The Night Before, but License to Drive, like that kind of film where is a Murphy's Law, whatever bad will happen. Anything bad that can happen will happen. Like, if you like those type of films, which I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for a movie that, After Hours, that's another example. That's a film I really enjoy. By Martin Scorsese. It's not in the same vein, but Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, that one's a bit different, because that's pretty much everything kind of worked it out for... So that's a different than this, but... What I'm getting is I'm a sucker for those movies where characters go on a journey, and just anything bad that could happen... Even more comedic movies like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Like, I'm a sucker for that. So it was cool to see this. And Ethan Hawke being sort of a young Tom Cruise in this. That's the vibe I got. It was not a bad vibe to get. Like I said, the supporting cast, the quick pacing, the soundtrack, NXS. I like that band. So overall, it was a fun film. It was an entertaining flick. I didn't think it was as laugh out loud as I hoped it would be. But, yeah, if you like those kind of films, I would say 80s, but this is early 90s, it's worth a look. I think it's at very least worth a look. I think it got a Blu-ray from Olive Films. I don't think it has any features, though. And yeah, this is a film I had never heard of, so that was interesting as well. So with that said... Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.